Welcome to the Brazilian AF3 podcast. We are back with a full show. We are going to kick it off with our peaks and our pits and go into Ask Alex. We do have an interview today with a Brazilian guest. Her name is Rane, and today she's speaking about how she grew up with a drug-addicted mom who later became an alcoholic and her tumultuous relationship. And she also speaks on SA. So if any of these topics are triggering, just skip forward or listen next week. And then we're going to wrap up with talking about produce. It sounds really boring, but I promise you it's not. So grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and let's get it.
Welcome to the Brazilian AF podcast. I'm Alex Fresh.
And I'm Bennett Knows. We believe everything vibrates at a certain frequency, and we're here to raise the vibration.
You'll hear stories of resilience, manifestation, and what to do when you find that even resilience has a toll. Because the bitch is tired, honey. You know my hair? I have good hair.
Yeah.
I'm like thankful. By the way, we're starting the podcast. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. I do have good hair and I'm thankful for it because I haven't washed my hair in 10 days. I don't even have any shame in saying that for some reason. Like normally I wash my hair 2 times a week, always. But something that changed recently, I curled my hair with a 1/2-inch curling iron by T3. It's the best curling iron ever.
Doesn't sound big.
No, but it's skinny and long. Used it as a wand.
That's what he said.
Yeah. It took me like an hour and a half though to curl my hair, but I noticed that over the next week it looked great every single day.
Ooh.
And when it looked like a tiny bit oily, I would just throw some dry shampoo in there and it would make it look so good. And I was like, dang. So that was like 2 weeks ago. So I went 8 days and I washed my hair. I'm like, okay, I can't believe, like I feel like I have to wash my hair right now and I didn't even need it. So then I washed my hair the same day I curled it. That was 10 days ago. So I've just only thrown some dry shampoo in it. That's all I've done over the past 10 days. And then today I just curled it. That's the only thing I've done since I've done it 10 days ago. I just threw some curls in it because it's Monday morning and I'm like, I need a little pick me up. But my hair is doing really good after 10 days. Look at it.
Yes, it looks
like,
great.
What? I feel like I really need to wash it, but because I definitely do need to wash it,
I feel like I have to wash my hair because I just haven't washed my hair
for
in
how
a
long?
long time.
For how long?
About 10 days.
Oh, wow. Is that normal?
No.
What the hell? Why are we on the same schedule with
we're
that?
We're on the same schedule for sure. I actually do it once or twice a week and then I'll like throw some like leave-in conditioner or deep conditioner.
For sure.
And fellas, do something with your beard too.
Yeah.
You know, it's so important. Like brush your beard. You can condition,
shampoo
washing it. Like those are things that you need to do for a beard because
definitely. Ew.
The boys, the girls, the theys, the thems, they don't like
dirty beards.
Dirty beards, rough beards, prickly beards. Like
and it's very easy to shampoo and condition your beard.
Right. So do what you gotta do.
Okay.
But I think everybody has nice hair. You feel me? Like everybody has nice hair. You just gotta like figure your hair out. You know.
Yeah.
Alex does not agree. She's like, yeah.
I went to beauty school. Okay.
Okay, so she knows.
Yeah.
You know, she knows.
I have good hair. That's all I know. Anyways, let's get into our peek and pit, okay?
Well, Father's Day just passed.
Happy Father's Day yesterday.
Yep.
To all the fathers. I hope you had a good weekend and a good day.
Yeah.
And shout out to
the new fathers, the old fathers, the father Abrahams, the granddaddies, the baby daddies who are actually doing what they should be doing, you know?
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
All right, let's get into our peaks and our pits.
Okay. My peak is, as you know, I was moving. I don't know why I thought it would be a great idea to like get back from vacation and move. So I finally unpacked my house.
Okay.
It's livable now, you know? And I have a like nice new plant that was gifted to me and I'm like super excited about that, but I need your help because you have so many plants in your house. I've only had like 1 or 2 plants and they died immediately. So I'm trying to give this one life. It's going to live. Yeah. So I need, you
gotta figure out if it needs like a light or low light or a lot of light.
Yeah, I'm like nervous because this one, its leaves are already like falling
kind of
over.
plant is it?
I'm not sure. No.
Okay, I'll help you out. Gotta Google like what type of plant it is. Be like, does this need low light or a lot of light? And you can either like place it by a window or like in the middle of your living room. So if it's low light, you can just like put it in a corner, right? It needs some sunlight. And it'll tell you how to care for it. Like if the leaves are kind of wilting, it'll be like mix something with water and spray it with this and it will come back to life. Like it'll give you tips on what.
Okay,
like,
so there's a whole thing. There's a whole situation for these plants.
Also, I can do Reiki on it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. They're living things.
Don't overwater it. They like to actually be completely dry before you water them again. So you want to use up all the water.
Yeah.
And like where their roots are like drying out until
like really dry.
Yeah, that's when they will be like.
I haven't given it water yet just because of that. I want it to be
You probably need to like replant it maybe.
Yeah, I was told I would have to replant it soon.
Yeah. I'll help you out. I got
Put
you.
succulents in it.
I got you, boo.
I was like, I got you a succulent.
I actually have extra like pots if you want some.
Okay, yeah.
I'll throw into that little welcome home present.
New pots, new plant. Who's this? So that's my peak. I'm excited about that. My pit is really unfortunate, actually.
Oh no, here it goes. Ugh.
Last week, one of my friends went missing. He went to go visit his sister in San Antonio. He's from St. Louis. I guess somewhere from leaving a birthday brunch and checking out of his Airbnb to going to the airport. They're saying he was like lured into a situation.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and like his birthday was on Monday. So when his friends and family couldn't get like a response to their birthday wishes and like calling him because he was supposed to be back in St. Louis on his birthday, they knew there was a problem.
That is so sad.
Yeah, this whole week they were looking for him and eventually they found him. And you know, I don't want to report any of the details because I'm not quite sure, you know, exactly what happened, but it's definitely foul play. And
I'm so sorry to hear that, Bennett. Oh my God.
Yeah. And you know, some people are saying, well, I don't want to report on it, but he is a gay Black man. So they don't know if, you know, that's something that was at play, if it was like a hate crime. So,
damn,
you know, it's just really, really, really sad and unfortunate because one, you know, this is someone I know and I seen them on Instagram when he was with his sister. I seen them posting pictures up.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't think anything could happen so quickly.
That's insane.
You would never think that like that missing person would be someone that you follow on Instagram that you interact with all the time. And he wanted to come to Seattle and visit. And he's like, hey, can I stay at your place if I do come? And I was like, yeah, but like, let's wait until I move into my apartment to do so because like it would make sense. And there was no time. You know, I just moved into my apartment and it's not going to happen. So it's just like really, really appreciate life and love the people around you. And you just can't take anything for granted because it's insane. Somebody I just seen on Instagram last week is now all over social media, was missing, and now it's just like RIP. So it's just like so sad.
That is so sad.
His name is Jarvis McIntyre, and he was known by Cisco, and he was like literally the sweetest, liveliest person. So
damn. Well, RIP Cisco.
Yeah, RIP Cisco.
Yeah, it's wild. Like when, you know, people go missing a lot and until it happens to someone who you know, it's just like crazy when that happens.
And what gets me is like, you never see your friend and think like that's how they're going to spend their last moments, you know?
Right. Or that's going to be the last time you see them.
Right. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like what somebody who was so sweet and like so full of life ended like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, so that is my pet, and my condolences to his family and his friends, and just left him in prayer. But yeah, what's going on with you, Alex? Sorry to, you know, damper the mood, but real.
Okay, well, my peak and pit. Okay, so my pit is, this is the last week of school. And it's like, okay, it's a pit for me because now I have to entertain my child for the whole summer.
Yes, and it's Jax's peak. Let's go, summer vacation.
Yeah, because I work at home. So he doesn't go to like day camps and he doesn't go to whatever. And he doesn't have like a lot of friends around our house because his school is kind of far away because I didn't want to take him out of like his school when I moved. And so I wanted him to stay in the school and stay with his friends. So it's like all of his friends live pretty far. Yeah. So yeah, it's like now I have to go on like a ton of bike rides and it's fun. I really enjoy it and the years fly by, but I'm like, that's my pit. Parents know.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry when he goes back to school. Tears of joy.
I thought you were going to cry because you miss him.
No. So yeah, my peak is, okay, y'all, listen up. So I started offering birth charts, and this is kind of like a little shout out sales pitch for me and my biz. But this is actually something I'm very passionate about. So birth charts are like, or natal charts are the blueprint for your life for the exact moment that you were born, for like where the planets were in the sky. And it tells you a lot about yourself, and you can just find out a lot about your personality and traits and characteristics and things like that. And it's like on a whole really deep level, and I've been studying it for years, and it's very fascinating, and I'm excited to like share this with people that don't know, because it's still very like not well known.
Right.
So I'm offering birth charts. There's a big 3-year sun, moon, rising. Your sun sign, most people know their sun sign. Like I'm April 21st, which is a Taurus. You're a Libra.
October 18th.
Shout out to Libs.
Yes.
And my moon is Aquarius, and my rising sign is a Scorpio. Oh, and me and Bennett, we're both Scorpio
rising. My moon's in Cancer. That's our thing.
And so you have to have the exact time that you're born. If you don't have that, you can look on your birth certificate. You can also call the hospital you were born at, and you can ask them for record. You can also find out from the state. So there's ways to find out. Even if you don't have your birth time exactly, it's just the rising sign that you won't know. So you can still find out everything else. It's just a rising sign, because that can change like every few minutes.
Right. But what do those things mean? Are you able to give a preview, a little, like what's the moon, what's the rising, and what's the sun?
Well, the sun sign is like your like core personality traits, and
that's one everybody knows.
Yeah. And like I'm Taurus, everybody knows like we're stubborn, we're loyal, you know, things like that. Everybody knows like the basics of your sun sign. Your moon sign is like your emotions and like how you handle situations and people throughout your life. And your rising sign is how you portray yourself to the world.
Resting bitch face for us. That's for the Scorpio risings.
I like being a Scorpio rising. We're special. If you want me to read your chart, go to my website. You can go to my Instagram, and the link is in the bio, but it's theharrowhealer.com. And y'all aren't gonna like even remember this, so just go to the link in my Instagram bio at @theandreas, and my website is gonna be in my link tree. Do it for yourself, because it's gonna like make you go down a rabbit hole, and it's fascinating information. And I really just want to spread this because it is like a passion of mine. There's so many other things that I do, but this is like really a passion that I really want to help people. It's like, yeah, let's go.
Like it makes things make sense, you know, like you'll be like, oh, so that's why I react this way. Or if you are a Libra but you felt like, oh, sometimes I don't feel like a Libra, well, maybe it's because you have a different rising when you're acting out or, you know, doing other things. So it's really cool. Definitely look into it.
Okay, so that was my peek in my pit. I did it. I fucking did it.
Hey,
oh my God.
Wow, we made it through. Look at us. And we're in the studio, y'all. We're back in person, back in motion.
Back at it.
Guess who's back.
Guess what time it is?
What time is it?
BB, it's time for AA.
Ask Alex. Woo!
I like that intro. Guess what time it is, BB? It's time for AA. You know, like Alcohol Anonymous, but it's Ask Alex.
Yeah.
I actually, maybe a lot of people don't know that, but I went to a lot of AA meetings as a child.
Oh, wow. I didn't, so I didn't know what you
had no reaction. I'm like, he has no clue what I'm talking about. I had to explain it to him.
AB, you know, but no, Alcoholics Anonymous.
This is an AB conversation, so see your way out of it. But I don't want them to see their way out of it. I want them to be part of it. So see your way in.
Come on.
Okay, so speaking of birth charts, I thought it was actually like a good question that I saw. I was like, okay, Bennett, I really want to answer this question, and it's kind of on track with my peak.
Okay.
And someone asked me to list the zodiac signs from my favorite to least favorite. But what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is just list my 3 favorite and my 3 least favorite.
Okay. Shots are going to be fired.
Shots are going to be absolutely fired. And I do think that I'm going to start with Taurus, and that's my sign.
Of course.
And I feel like Taurus is very grounded. They're an earth sign.
Okay.
They're pentacles, so they're all about career. They rule the second house, which is all about finances and money and all of that. So
what's the birthday?
It's April 20th to May 20th is a Taurus.
Okay.
But overall, it's a gentle bull. They say we're super stubborn, but I would say that I was stubborn as a kid, but I outgrew it. So I don't feel like I'm that stubborn, because I find myself changing my mind in like something that I'm like really stuck on. It's not hard for me to change my mind on something, right? Like,
but I feel like if you feel some type of way, you gonna stick with that.
I think that's everybody.
I've seen you be stubborn before.
I think that's with everybody though. Like that's with everybody though.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're just saying that Taurus is like over stubborn, and I don't feel like
overly.
I am.
I don't think you overly are, but you can be. Like, you're standing on it.
Also like Taurus really likes luxurious items and things. Ooh. So it's like a lot of sex, a lot of food, a lot of shopping, a lot of like overindulgence, and I'm like, that's the best of life. That's one of the best freaking sign. Okay. So my second favorite sign is Pisces, and Pisces is February 19th through March 20th.
Okay.
They're just a really good sign. They're a water sign. They're like gentle. They just have really like cool views. I feel like they're just chill. And I get along with them and I attract them. So many people I meet are Pisces. And then my third favorite is Cancer. And that's June 21st through July 22nd. Why are you looking at me like that?
You're undercover. I did not know that about you.
I love Cancers. I attract Cancers as well. What?
Wow.
What? My son's a triple, of
I'm
course.
not even part of the top 3. Like, what the hell, Alex?
There's 12. Bennett, you're like the only Libra that I know.
What the fuck? Anyways.
Well, maybe you're in my top 3 worst. You'll find out right now.
Oh, fuck. At least the top something.
Okay, so Leo.
When's that birthday?
So Leos are July 23rd through August 22nd. And I just think that they're just opinionated in a mean girl way. And they're just like too aggressive. It's like, chill out.
Yeah.
I think the Leos are a little bit too aggressive. Okay, so my 11th worst, Virgo.
Oh.
I know you think that was going to be the number 1.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say number 1.
But I feel like Virgo only is number 11 because they're very smart and very analytical. They're an earth sign and I have a lot of respect for them. Otherwise, they're pieces of shits. And we'll move on from that. The worst sign, I think, which I don't even know why I put this in front of Virgo because they're kind of like equal for me, which also sucks because I'm an earth sign. It's going to be Capricorn.
Oh.
Capricorns are they just suck. I'm sorry if you're listening and you're Capricorn.
When's that birthday?
Sorry, not sorry. Capricorn days are December 22nd to January 19th. And I just haven't met a Capricorn that I really like. So
I haven't either, so we're on the same page there.
the other 6 that I didn't list, you just don't know where you're at in my list.
Yeah, you didn't say any of the air symbols, so I'm gonna give them a quick shout out.
At least they're mediocre. They're in the middle.
They're not mediocre. They're top tier.
Okay, listen.
They're top tier. You're an earth sign. Honestly,
number 1.
Earth signs are not number 1.
The
Earth
other
signs,
2 were number last.
Earth needs water. You guys need water. You need
can't
wind.
be fucking anything without an earth.
Yeah, no. Earth is the
We're
last on the
grounded.
list.
We're like the ground that you like walk on for the water. And you gotta have an earth to have air.
Right. But when God made...
I guess you gotta have air to have earth.
Yeah, you do. And you didn't say any of them. It's okay.
But it's in
all right.
the middle. It's in the middle. It's in the middle.
That's right. I'm gonna give them shout outs
Bennett,
right now.
chill out.
You know what? Because I'm gonna give you my top and my my favorite and my least favorites.
But
I want to say Geminis are my favorite. Geminis are like wild.
Geminis are wicked.
Or yesterday was my best friend's birthday, who also shares a birthday with Donald Trump.
Oh, okay. I do actually like Geminis.
Love them.
And
They're so wild. Kanye West.
I do attract Geminis as well, and I do vibe with them. They are just wild as fuck.
I love my fire symbols. Sagittarius. They're spicy. They're loud. They're in your face.
You know what? I gotta be honest. Sagittarius was almost in my top 3 worst.
Oh, yikes. Why? They're too loud. They're too bossy.
I feel like one of my best friends, who I think is one of the dopest fucking people, is Sag. I'm like, how are you Sag? Because like the other Sages I know are kind of assholes.
Yeah, I love that. I love a loud person, you know? I feel like you're an earth sign, so you're like chill and laid back, whereas I like all the signs that are like moving and popping shit and making it happen.
Air.
Yeah. So
Like a tornado?
Yeah, it could be a tornado or it could be a nice cool breeze down your back.
Ooh la la.
Or
Sounds
your
kinky.
ear, as you were saying last week.
Yeah. Anywhere
You choose.
on me.
Yeah, just blow. Right.
Just blow.
Yeah, like the wind blow. My
What blow are we talking about now?
Oh, yeah, you never know. But my least favorite
Yeah.
is the Aries. Aries are assholes. They're like, pick me, so watch me. I'm right.
Okay.
You know, Aries, the birthday is the end of May, beginning of April. You know who you are because you're in Aries.
No, it's the end of March. It's like March.
Okay, March and beginning of April. Yeah.
Yeah, it ends April 19th.
You know who you are, but they're like,
Okay, Aries.
do it like me.
I'm like super on the cusp of Aries. Like my birthday is April 21st.
Well,
so
you're
I'm
lucky.
On the cusp and
You just missed it.
well, I'm still Aries in some ways, but one of my best friends also is Aries, and I love her so
But I
much.
love her, and she's not like
She's not your typical
She's
Aries.
not your typical
Actually,
Aries.
we don't know that. Maybe in a relationship.
What we don't know, we don't know.
Because I don't know. I'm like, she's awesome to us.
Yeah, but you never know. My least favorites, Aries.
Cancer?
I would definitely say Capricorn. I wouldn't say Cancer because Cancer has always been my Cancer. You know.
That was we hit it hard. I think.
Yeah, we got through all of them.
I think like the most important thing that we got out of all of this is that Taurus is the best, and we can all agree on that and move on. So thanks for asking that question. Appreciate that. If you have a question that you want to ask me, hit us up on Instagram at ResilientAF3.
Wow, you really just try to move on with that one.
well, hit us up. Which one's the best? Let us know.
Yeah, and also ask us more questions. Make sure you hit us up on Instagram at ResilientAF3, and let us know.
Also, hit us up if you have a resilient story that you want to tell us, because next is our resilient guest coming.
Yes, we have a resilient guest.
Yes, we do. And we have had some of y'all write us in, and you're coming up, and thank you so much for being willing to share your story. It takes a lot of courage. So if you want to be one to share with us why you're resilient and what happened and where you're at now, hit us up. Email us at resilientaf3@gmail.com.
Should we read today's guest? Should we read their email?
Yes. So something that we're going to do now is read the email that we got, Rane, and I'm going to read the email that she emailed us. Hi, Alex and Bennett. My name is Rane, and I was interested in being a guest on the podcast. I've listened to every episode and have been wanting to write in for a while, but just haven't felt courageous enough. I love to tell my story about my tumultuous relationship with my alcoholic parents. I'm looking forward to hearing back and possibly meeting y'all. XOXO, Rane.
Oh, well.
So welcome, Rane, to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to tell you guys my resilience story.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll let you just kind of begin where you want and hand over the mic to you.
Okay. So my name is Rane. I'm 29 years old. I live with my parents currently. We live in a 2-story duplex. So my story is about my mom's severe alcoholism and just general addiction to opioids. You always ask, like, where did it start? And my initial thought is when I was born, like it started when I was a kid, like in the sense of not being able to control the fiend. So she's always used Vicodin for her back pain because she has spinal stenosis, which is a narrowing of the spine. And so she started getting addicted to that when I was really young. And it was always very controlling. So very sheltered is how I would say. Her drug problem forced us to be sheltered because she didn't trust anybody. She had a very hard upbringing. And because of that, like, we weren't even allowed to leave the yard. We weren't able to go over and have sleepovers. I wasn't able to do a lot of stuff. She never showed me how to use a tampon when I was growing up. She never talked to me about sex. She never talked to me about anything that would cause me to move outside of her bubble that she kept us in. So at 16, I obviously rebelled severely. In high school, my grandma was dying from cancer and I went unnoticed. She was heavily addicted to Vicodin and methadone, which she would mix all the time would mix the two with trazodone. And then, like, that was her day.
So what would that look like? What would that look like as a child looking at your mother? Like, what would she be acting like?
Normal. She wouldn't be out of control. She wouldn't be like acting off the rails. She would sit in her bed a lot. A lot of my childhood was her in her bed. She had a drawer that she would keep a bunch of snacks in and then a bunch of weed. And I remember in 4th grade reading her a quiz that I had to, like, a spelling quiz. And she would just be laying in her bed with the TV on as I'm trying to talk to her and would just be checked out almost. Like, she just kind of gave up. She just wasn't there. But was always up my ass. She wasn't there, but always wanted to know what I was doing, where I was, who I was with, not letting me actually learn how to live.
Yeah.
So
was she scared of, like, was she just paranoid, or like was she scared of something happening to you because then she didn't want to lose you? Like,
I think so. I think that she lived a very tumultuous life with rape, drugs. We have 4 generations of drunk driving and killing somebody in my family. And so I think that weighs heavy on her also, is just like taking the blunt of generational trauma. But back to, like, kind of where it all started. When I was a kid, my mom had a kid with somebody else, my older brother, who's now 43. But when I was 8, he ended up abusing me in our house.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know about it. You know how some people, their sexual trauma, it stays in, like, a thought bubble. Like, you grow up and you're like, okay, well, this was just like a really vivid dream that I had. I don't know how real this actually is. But your dreams, you don't always can recollect detail per detail. Like, it's very much Oh, I can kind of remember. No, I can tell you every single detail from the moment it happened to the moment it finished. And it was like that all the way up until I was 19 years old and finally like went to therapy. Wow. And I had no idea. Like I didn't process it. And so when I was growing up, I dealt with a lot of very sexually active, very boy seeking, very confused on my sexuality, wanting to sleep with women, men. Like I didn't care. I had an older boyfriend at one point. So I was really confused.
Right. So, okay, wait. So that started again when you were how old?
The abuse?
Yeah.
8.
And that's your half brother?
Yeah, so my mom has it's me, I'm the youngest, and then my sister, and then my brother who is the oldest.
Okay, so
different dad.
Did you tell anybody?
No.
Okay,
did you now.
Okay.
You have
we'll
now,
get to that, I'm sure.
Yes,
okay.
We will. That comes next.
Okay, go ahead.
So all of this in between, as I've grown up, I got pregnant at 19. I thought that I would spend my life with this guy. I obviously didn't. After that, I remember living with my parents, and I had graduated beauty school.
Did you have the kid?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's 10.
Okay.
She's very beautiful. I'm very blessed. She saved me from a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But after I graduated beauty school, I had entered a relationship with somebody who was very emotionally and sexually abusive, which contributes to being abused as a kid, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I remember telling him that I was abused. And when somebody tells you something like that, your first initial reaction isn't, oh, I don't believe you. It's, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Mm-hmm. His initial reaction, because I've been abused twice, once by my neighbor at a garage sale, and I got them mixed up, which I didn't know is super common for sexual assault victims, is for you to take one instance and get it mixed up with the other. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I hadn't processed it. And so I told him, and he goes, oh, well, now I don't know if I believe you. Now I'm going to therapy after this because I've said something to somebody. I'm in this extremely emotionally, sexually abusive relationship. I say something to my therapist, to which then brings it out that, yes, this happened to you. Q, leaving and graduating from beauty school. I'm living downstairs where I'm living currently. I don't have a job at this point. But my mom, we get into an argument. And then it turns physical. I'm sitting in a chair, and I remember she's throwing plates at me. She's hitting me over the head with a hairbrush. And I'm just sitting here because I don't know how to respond. And you can only take so much after a certain point, right? So finally, I get up, and we start physically fighting. And so we're separated, and she calls the police, and I end up going to jail for the night.
No.
For domestic violence.
Did she?
No. Have you guys ever been to jail?
No, I have not. Thank God.
So it's not the place to be, right? I remember being under the blanket and crying the whole time. Like I came in the middle of the night and had to sleep next to a toilet. And then woke up and was there for a full 24 hours.
And oh my God.
So she ended up calling the courthouse saying that she didn't want to press charges against me, but they weren't able to release me yet because they had to go and send it to a judge, and I had to see a judge. And after that, I ended up moving in with my current boyfriend, sexual assault, the emotional assault later. And then I find out, so he picked me up from jail, right? My sister was going to fly me out to California, and I was going to stay out there with her permanently. But he was like, no, you're not going there. You're going to stay here and you're going to live with me. Red flag number 1, you would think, right? Like you're stopping me from living with a safe person. So this has become normalized for me. My mom's very controlling. So for me to be in a relationship with somebody so controlling, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, sure, that works for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So Q, 2 years of sexual assault, unwanted fetish assault, all kinds of stuff. Like at one point he took my heels and put them up his ass. And then left the damage out, Alex. Left the shoes out. Unclean, very visible for everybody to see. His 10-year-old daughter, my daughter.
No.
He didn't care.
Oh.
So then I tell my mom, because I've been in extensive therapy, that he abused me. My brother abused me.
How old were you when you told her?
I was 24.
Okay.
So this just happened recently in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So Q 2018, and then she starts drinking. This is now when she has chosen for alcoholism.
So she didn't drink before that at all?
She drank one time when my grandma died from being killed by a drunk driver. I don't remember this though. My sister says that she became an alcoholic during that short period of time, but was able to kick it. And then she started doing it in 2018.
When you told her that, oh my God, that breaks my heart. Oh.
Yes. And of course she, it's always well, he was a child. No.
Oh,
I was
hell
8,
no.
and he was, let's see, he's 43 now, and I'm 29. So he's beyond an adolescent.
Oh, for sure. Oh, why do people take their side and like
a lot of times
it blows my ever loving mind.
A lot of times in these situations, like, especially when it's like quote unquote family, I feel like sometimes people want to ignore it because they don't want to face the reality that, like, yeah, that's happening.
Ashamed.
Your family, like, yeah, it's your son, it's your mom, your dad, it's people who are right near you. So at that point, it's like, no, it didn't happen. He was just a kid, or you know how he is. That those.
It's because she's so ashamed that it's her son.
And I think the shame also comes from, she had a lot of abuse also. So for her, it was more so like, I tried so hard to protect my kids from this. And then the one person that is supposed to not abuse my child is abusing my child. So I think it also was a huge shock to her because we lived with him for a long time. And it was always just, oh, he was a kid. He was an adolescent. It was just one time. He didn't know what he was doing. And when I came out to her, during that time, I was having a lot of pent-up anxiety because I thought that it was from my current relationship, which was very bad. Then I go to therapy and they're like, oh no, like all of these things from your past are stemming from this one incident that you've never been able to actually process.
Yes.
So then when I tell my mom about it, cues the drinking, and it kind of leads into like where she is now in her life and where she's kind of left me.
Where is she now?
So my mom is 5'1" and is probably like 90 pounds. She consumes, let's see, what is that size? I think it's like a liter. It's like just your regular size of alcohol. She drinks every day. There is not a day that goes by she finishes the bottle. I'd say over 14, 15 shots a day she's taking. So she's consuming 1,300 calories in tequila, which is Jose Cuervo, by the way. That's her drink of choice. Hot. Not in the fridge, hot on the counter. I could never. That's
my mom was Jack Daniels.
I don't get it. And probably hot on the counter too, huh?
No, she actually would just, it would be in a little cup, but she wouldn't mix it with her diet Pepsi that she'd pour ice, diet Pepsi. She would take a drink of her diet Pepsi and then a drink of her Jack Daniels that was warm together. And then she would swallow it. For my entire life until I was like 24. Then she quit drinking.
Wow.
But anyway,
she quit drinking.
I don't talk to her though. I don't talk to her, and she held it against me because I quit talking to her because I couldn't even be nice to her when she was sober, which was a short amount of time when she would get off work. And I just was like, I can't be a bitch to my mom, like I just have to. Yes. And I was pregnant, and so I quit talking to her, and I didn't say you have to quit drinking. Like I'm just like I'm gonna go now, but she quit drinking. And she held it against me. So, but now we don't talk. We haven't for 4 years. So
even when my mom is sober, she's a fucking mean, awful person. Like she's not nice. She's very hateful. She picks people apart. She likes to point the finger. She's extremely controlling,
judgmental,
extremely judgmental, extremely.
Sounds like work that needs to be done within. A lot of times you're sending all that energy towards somebody else because you just don't want to deal with what's going on.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And I think that, a lot of it has to do with like she's trying to hide. She's trying to hide a lot of her true feelings and true things that have happened in her life. And it's coming out in the shape of excuses and drinking and not having any control, but she has a lot of health issues. She constantly has stomach pain. She can't sleep. She sleeps for maybe 2 hours and then gets up drunk, takes 200 milligrams of trazodone, and then goes back to bed. And then gets up, doesn't drink, and which is so weird to me because alcoholics are normally like, drink all day, don't stop drinking. The thought of her drinking alcohol in the morning is repulsive to her. But she can get up and be up for 6 hours, and she's at the store at 10 o'clock a.m. always, every day. And then drinks until she just can't drink anymore. And she can get so mean. The things that she has said and done. She comes downstairs because, like I said, my parents live in a 2-story house. And so we have like a partial kitchen, a bath. It's like a small apartment. And she'll come into our bedroom, go into our closet, take our alcohol out of our closet, bring it out to our kitchen, drink it, come back, and then put it back when we're not home. And we know that she is because we mark. We see that it's been drank. And so she's just at a point in her life where she is consistently drug seeking. My husband has a family member who just detoxed. And so we took her fentanyl and threw it away. And my mom, the first question she asked was, "Oh, did you save any? Do you have any for me? Like, did you save it?" Like, yeah, I've got some fentanyl right here in my hand for you, specifically. Just the audacity and the entitlement. Yeah. The entitlement of addicts is absolutely mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm. Where are you now with all of this that happened, and you live with your mom and you still have to deal with her addiction while working on yourself?
It's really hard. It's really hard to have the strength to look at her and say, I don't want to be like that. But actively in myself, like, I know that I have that generational curse because I do drink alcohol. There are times when I hate myself for drinking alcohol. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to even potentially have the chance of turning into that. It's terrifying to me, honestly. But the control that she still tries to have is I think what is detrimental to me, because I can't even allow my daughter to play outside in our gated yard without my mother telling her that she can't, because somebody's gonna come up and steal her out of our yard, or she's just gonna disappear.
It's wild because like when I was a kid, I lived in Yakima, which is kind of like a country town, but it's like a bigger country town. And when I was at my mom's, like I remember I would be gone for hours during the day, and my mom was always like wanting me to check in and stuff, but I mean hours would go by and I don't have a phone. Like I'm on my bike and I'm out in my neighborhood, and it's not a good part of town, I feel like. And I actually lived in a trailer park with her. And there wasn't that many kids in the trailer park. I would leave the trailer park on my bike and I would be gone for like hours, and I would come check in, but my mom did not care. And so I was thinking about that when you were saying that. I'm like, dude, I could not imagine like being stuck in my goddamn yard.
Oh no, yeah. We weren't able to even like leave the neighborhood when I was a kid. We had to ride our bike right in front of the house only. Could not go down the cul-de-sac, could not even go up the street. So the thought of even telling my mom that Lila is going to go out and ride her bike, I'm going to get reprimanded for it. I'm going to get told that I'm not paying enough attention. I don't know what's actually going on outside in the world. I don't know how to be a parent because I'm not paying, literally like helicopter parenting her, which is what my mom did to us. Constantly over our shoulder.
So you still live with her?
Yeah, so we actually moved in. My sister was living here and then they bought a house. And so we moved in to help them keep the house, because if we wouldn't be giving them rent, they wouldn't be able to afford to live here. So we pay to have no locks on our doors because I'm not allowed to have a lock. I never was ever allowed to have a lock on any door growing up. I had no privacy then. I don't have privacy now. They've walked in on us many times having sex. My dad opened the door at one point with my husband's dick literally in my mouth. And we had to...
Why would he want to do that? Why
into the bathroom naked, stand there, and he's still standing there, waiting for me to come out of the bathroom. I have no privacy. We have no privacy.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I've
weird that parents would want to do that in the first place. What about your daughter? Where's your daughter?
Thank you. She's at her dad's.
Okay.
She's not here at the time. She's with her dad.
But like, does she have her own room there?
Yeah, so she has a room upstairs, which is actually like the first time that she's had her own bedroom, because before we were living with his mom and she slept in like our master closet. I turned it into a bedroom for her. So she had a bed and a dresser, and then now she lives upstairs in that bedroom, but hangs out downstairs with us.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't like her being up there because she doesn't knock on Lila's door to come in to change. She just barges right in. Lila is 10 and getting ready to go through puberty and still try to come into the bathroom while she's taking a bath.
No.
Like,
why don't you guys try and get it like your own like house?
Yeah. So what's stopping you from moving out? Because I know you said
selfishness and fear. I think fear of if I move out, I will cut contact with my parents and then they'll die because they drink so much. They won't, and then I'll lose.
But you feel like that's your responsibility?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You don't feel like there's any part of you that deserves to like live free in your own life with your own daughter and your own.
I do. I think about that every day and the desperation that I feel and the trauma that's in this house. I feel like this house has arms and it grabs me and it pulls me back in and I can't leave. Like, I feel like I'm trapped here. Every time I leave, I come back because I've moved out 5, 6 times, countless times, and still am brought back to the exact same spot.
I feel like when life does that and puts you in the same situations, it's just like a reminder that you're not breaking a cycle. You're not evolving and elevating to the next person you're supposed to be, whatever the situation is. When you find yourself in the same place and it's like, damn, I feel like we're not evolving, we're not taking that extra step, which could always be hard. Like, I was in the same situation where my father was living at one of my places and I had to move back into that place months later. And I felt guilty for not allowing him to stay, So I completely understand how you could feel responsible for that. But when you're an adult, like, you need to take care of yourself, and, and
your daughter.
You can't take care of somebody else if you're not taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel, is a lot of things that I need get pushed onto the back burner because for a long time I took care of my mom because she couldn't take care of herself, and it's kind of like all I feel like
all it's literally all because there was one person in my life. Had he not come into my life, I would actually probably be more like how you are, because that's how I was for a long time. I was very much codependent. If I thought that I wouldn't, like, I thought my mom was going to die when I was growing up, like to a whole other level because of her alcoholism. And I was codependent for her, and I just really had a lot of fun and a lot of fear in my childhood. My mom did show me a lot of love, and she wasn't mean to me when she was drunk. If he wouldn't have actually made me realize that I have a voice, and he recommended one book, or just for me to look up information about adult children of alcoholics. And that set my healing journey off. And I didn't even have a clue about so much stuff. Like, if I didn't see that, if I just didn't have that aha moment, I would still be talking to my mom.
Yeah. It's hard to make the disconnect. Where does the disconnect stop? Where do you say, I'm not going to let you disrupt my peace anymore, and then you don't let them disrupt your peace? Because there's that in between right there where you're like, okay, you're showing me that little bit of maternal love that I desperately want, and then you snatch it away within seconds.
Something I realized with me too is, like, once I've had enough, like, once I'm done, I'm done. And it's like, we weren't as close, like, as an adult, and she really annoyed me a lot because she was very judgmental, and it was like the energy that she exerted, even though she was sober, I just couldn't be around because it was annoying to me. Yeah, which sucked. And then it was just really, I couldn't hang around her because it just wasn't raising my vibe. But like I said, if I didn't have that person around to really explain things to me in a certain way, to like really make me understand my worth and my value as a person and who I need to be, first and foremost, even for my kids and not for my mom. Like, I shouldn't be taking care of my mom's feelings anymore. Like, it's
exactly
weird, right? Like, we're adults. Like, why are you judging me? And like, why are you doing this? Saying this to my daughter? Like, there was like a whole other thing. Like, and I just got sick of it, and I just really haven't looked back. And to be honest, it's been a lot better.
And I think that's kind of where I'm at. Is I'm getting to the point of being sick of it, where I'm tired of being the giving tree. I'm a stump at this point. Like, but I'm not going to straighten myself up for you to sit on me. I want to grow and move on and learn how to have the control to face that and to get through it and grow through it instead of let it consume me. Because what she's done to me and the person that she is, like, that's not me. I'm not like that. I'm caring and loving and genuine and empathetic, and she's not. And she's just so stuck in her ways that she's never going to come out. And I'm going to get a phone call one day, or I'm going to go upstairs and she's going to be dead. And then what do I do? Do I cry? Do I feel sadness? Do I feel happiness? Would I feel the same way about her death if I felt from no contact? Which I did for a while. I was able to do no contact for 6 months. And then somehow that fishing pole went out and I just got reeled back in.
I completely feel what you're saying, because that's how I felt about my father until I did get that call. And you feel all of the same things, but
I was waiting for you to see if you're going to say that, because I didn't want to say it for you.
Yeah.
But tell her.
Yeah, I was going through the same situation where he overdosed, and
recently,
like last year.
Wow.
And
Bennett.
I felt like, and this happened after I had told him, like, you can't live at my place anymore. I need my place. And I felt terrible because I felt like if I allowed him to stay in my house, and maybe this wouldn't have happened, but also, like, if I allowed him to stay in my house, what would I do? Where would I be myself? I felt like I overextended myself. I only told him he could stay for a month, and he stayed for like months after that. It was about 4 or 5 months, and financially I couldn't do it anymore, and still felt horrible about it. But like, I would just say, you got to take care of yourself. That's the most important thing.
And then you'll see, like, your life will evolve quickly, and you'll feel better, and like your vibe will be raised.
Sometimes I feel bad, but then I also know that I overextended myself. I also know that I did almost everything that I could for him. And, that means something,
You still made that choice.
Yes, exactly. So
and you can't help people who don't want help.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where she's at, is she doesn't want the help. But I'm openly trying to extend the help. Please, please, please take it. And I think, to circle back to your original question, Bennett, of what is stopping me from that, I don't have a job right now. So my husband is currently like the provider. And it's because of my daughter being in school. I have to have a certain schedule from 9 to 3 unless I rely on them for help.
Yeah.
And I refuse. I will not ask them for any type of help in regards to my daughter, because it just gives her more power over me. It gives her the ability to say, well, I do this for you, so now I need you to do this for me, or I do this for you, don't make me feel bad, or however.
But just to like start a life with your family, though, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do during the day, like
I know,
car, like door dashing and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I do Amazon Flex.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's ways, and like there's a lot of resources out there, for housing and all of that. And it's really like, all I'm trying to say is I want people to like live an authentic, happy life and just feel more than not happiness, with the people that they're around. And really, it's like, life is short. This lifetime is short, and you're never guaranteed tomorrow. So it's like, why not try and live every day with people who love you and that want to be around you and like build you up? So that's all that's really my point.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what I do. She's going to treat me the same no matter what. I could be the ripest peach on the tree and she still won't reach for me,
So then if you know that, then you should walk, if you walk away, then you should know that you did everything you could, and like knowing that she's never going to change. And like, you are the one breaking that generational trauma, for yourself and your daughter going forward.
Yeah.
Your daughter becoming an adult will look back and be like, damn, looking at you, like, my mom did that because she broke the generational trauma. She didn't want to be around it,
For sure. And she sees it too. She sees us argue, and she knows that we don't have a good relationship. I've said things to her in private of, this might happen. This is how she is. We kind of just have to deal with it until we can get out. And that's our next step, because I found out last night, because I have a cyst on my ovary currently that is causing a lot of health issues for me. And so I was prescribed oral morphine from the emergency room. She's literally stealing it from me, going into my cabinets and taking
That's
it out.
insane.
And when I confronted her, I didn't do that. If somebody's taking it,
with addicts, you just have to lock that stuff up. You can't even let it be out.
I shouldn't have to.
Right? You shouldn't have to, but you know you've lived with her for long enough.
I know, and it's that thought of just, why do I keep doing that? Why do I keep allowing her to do this to me? Why am I allowing her to be so selfish that it affects me so deeply?
Everything is with divine timing. So whether it's karma that you're paying back for this time, until something changes, like I feel like it's just your life path, but these type of conversations are the type of conversations that maybe will spark people to make a change.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes, because it was one conversation that I had with that one person. If it, they never came into my life, I would actually be more like you, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I'm just such an activist to just be living an authentic, happy life. And people deserve to be around people who are not bringing them down. Yeah. They deserve to be around, not be around people, like that.
And I want to so badly to be able to disconnect and move on and say, wow, I had the strength to leave this tumultuous relationship that has brought me nothing.
You look like a bad person to a lot of outsiders, but really, ultimately, it doesn't matter. You know your truth. Yeah. And whoever you're cutting ties with knows the truth. And ultimately, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, because everybody is going through something. And just if they worry about themselves, that's really what matters. And I was going to mention too, a lot of people are like, well, it's your mom, right? Yes. My dad told me this literally last week because we were having a conversation about stuff, and my dad and we talk all the time, and he was like, yeah, but it's your mother. And I'm like, Dad, that's where I can't with this. And me and him get along 99.9% of the time, for real. I'm like, that's where you and I are different. You want me to be with someone who's toxic? You want me to have a relationship with someone who's toxic? I can't do it. I honestly cannot do it. And really, we see eye to eye on so much, but that's one thing that he says to me, and I'm like, nah. And they got divorced when I was 3, and he'll still say that, and I'm like, no,
he still advocates for mom. No, that's a form of enabling. I feel like you're enabling her toxic behavior onto your own children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and my dad is like that too. He enables her behavior. I mean, he drinks too. He's more of an alcoholic than she is, but he doesn't show it as much.
Yeah,
he goes to work drunk, drives drunk, behaves poorly.
They're functioning alcoholics.
Yes, and that's definitely what they are. And so I really want to move.
I'm actually shocked that your mom started drinking really recently.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I think she just couldn't handle the information that I told her, which I did end up finding out that he abused my cousin too.
Where is he?
So he was an addict for a really long time on meth, living in Ocean Shores and Aberdeen. He actually got his kids taken away from him and put into the foster system. And
that's sad.
My niece and nephew are wonderful people. Shout out to them. They're really good kids. They've completely overcome everything that their parents put them through. One of them's a commercial fisherman and makes hella money. Mm-hmm. So, and is a female in a man-dominated industry.
Mm-hmm.
But he is allegedly sober now. He lives in Moses Lake, and he lives in a bachelor pad, is what my mom says. She's so proud of him.
So are you would you ever think about filing a police report, or?
No, it's not worth it to me. Okay. No, I think he's gotten his karma in his life of being miserable and alone.
Yeah, I mean, follow your intuition with what you feel, with the situation, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, he's allegedly sober living, but he abused my cousin for 4 years from the age of 11 to 14, and he also was not an adolescent during that time. He was a teenager.
Do you ever feel like, because you're a victim of him, that you should say something so it doesn't continue to happen like that?
Say something to who?
Anybody.
No, it's never come up. It's not that I don't want to. It's just why say something now after 20 years of silence,
Only to protect future victims. I'm just wondering if you feel like it's but because some people do, who have gone through stuff like that, feel like they want to say something so it doesn't happen to future people, but also it's not your responsibility.
Right. And I think that that's kind of why I don't, is it's not my responsibility to care, almost. My mom says forgiveness a lot, forgive him. And I don't hate him. I don't care about him. I don't think about him. But forgiveness is for her, not for me.
I think forgiveness is super important, just for evolving in life as a human. And that's another thing that seems so surface level, but it really goes so deep. Forgiveness is, even if it's just, nobody even knows, like the person doesn't even need to know, just for yourself, like you forgive this person, you forgive whoever, is so important to evolve for all. To have,
I'm not sure how to have that, you know? I was never taught how to forgive. I was always taught sweep it under and move on from it. Pretend it didn't happen.
Just releasing any shame that you would have on yourself, or knowing that it's all on him for what he did, and that you're no less of a person, and that just all, I don't know, you know, I really don't know fully, but it's just having forgiveness in your heart in situations to evolve. I've understood on a level of what, like, just forgiveness is super important in life.
With a lot of these situations, we hold a space for it within. And in order to like really move forward and evolve, as Alex is saying, you have to find what it is within you that will allow you to make that move. Because a lot of times, like for me, it was like foster care. I don't care, you know, like what happened with my father and going into foster care. But I did care. And there was a space there for a long time. And I did have to forgive him. And when I was able to do it, I was like, okay, so these are the reasons why I had to do it. That's the space it took up, you know? So it's very important.
I wish I knew more about it and was able to be better enough to have more than just the knowledge, you know, like the courage to want to heal.
It comes with time. It definitely comes with time.
Yeah, sure.
And it sounds like you're on your journey. Like, you know what you have to do. You know, through this whole conversation. And a lot of times, like, the changes that make the best impact are the hardest to make. But you could do it. We could all do it.
And to Bennett's point, like, you're saying things in a way that is more evolved than other people would be in your situation. So you're on the right track.
I'm very self-aware and very open to the fact of, like, I know that this has happened to me. I know this is my situation. I just can't get past it, you know? You keep getting dragged back to the same spot.
But you're 29, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm 37, and I really did a lot of healing in the past several years. So it's just with time. You're on the way, you know, you're on track. And I
gotta get the fuck out of here.
I really appreciate this interview because a lot of our guests are like things they went through and are out of it. They're far out of it. You know, they could be recently out of it or really far out of whatever they went through, but you're in it. You know, and it's like resilience can be a lot of things, and you're resilient because you're self-aware and you know what you need to do, and you're aware of a lot of the trauma and situations and not placing blame on yourself. But you're a really good human because you're loyal and you're sticking by her side, even though I don't think she deserves you. You know, we ask all of our guests at the end, like, what resilience means to them. So what does resilient mean to you?
So I wrote it down because I've been thinking about it for days. Because I didn't have an answer at first, because my first thought is, well, am I resilient if I'm still in the thick of it? And so I think resilience is having the power and courage to learn how to fight back against adversity. To be able to gain the knowledge and move past even just the knowledge and gain the power to continue to fight back is resilience to me.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just really important, like, to know that, like, everything is with divine timing, and people heal when they need to, and they have guides. And honestly, like, you are on your journey, and that is resilience, because a lot of people won't even start a journey.
Yeah.
And it's a process. Resilience is a process, you know, like you start off in one place and you end up in another place, and everything you do in between then isn't easy. It doesn't take a day. You know, but it's all about how you stick through to get to the other end.
And I feel like healing is for a lifetime, you know, especially when people have gone through really traumatic things. Like, it's forever.
Exactly. Even after they pass, I'm sure that I will still have so much more healing that will come up that I don't want, that we don't want to go through, you know, and yet you have to.
Yeah, it's in your nervous system.
It is.
It's somatic therapy.
And I need some Alex Reiki.
Yes.
Absolutely. Me too.
Seriously. Just take it's one of my favorite things to do.
Yes, take it.
Well, Rane, I really appreciate, again, you reaching out and sharing your story and being willing to be so vulnerable and share the details of it, for real. I really, really enjoyed this interview.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
We have a 1-year live podcast party coming up. And we're going to invite all of our guests. So I'll send you all the information about that. It's going to be late August.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm simping so hard. I've listened to you guys from the first podcast until the one, which y'all got to let us know when you're going to put a pod out late. Because I'm waiting on my phone at 8:00 on Monday. Where's the podcast?
Oh my God, Bennett.
Oh God.
Because I was gone for 2 weeks and then Bennett was gone for 2 weeks. Like we were out of town and it was just such like,
don't
this last
explain
month has been
yourself.
crazy.
I'm just giving you a really hard time because I
know everyone has given us a hard time. Someone else
Good. I'm not alone.
episodes. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so
The half episodes are killing me, you guys.
Yeah, we're getting it together though.
we
Okay,
thank
cool.
you. And it sounds like we're gonna have to bring you back in the future. So you're resilient through, your relationship with your mom and
Thank you, guys.
your current situation too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm taking a
You
lot.
should put a lock on your door.
I have one on my bedroom. I can't put one on our downstairs door because it's what we call it, the Hobbit door. It's a circular door with a fucking stick
Yeah.
in the middle, but I can just drill through that bitch and put a door handle.
Well, so at least your dad can't or your mom can't come in while you're sucking dick, right?
You know what? If they do, I'm sorry. That's on you. That's on you.
Gosh.
That's embarrassing for you to have to see that, okay?
Oh,
Well, that's
wow.
fine. Fuck it. They want
I
to
should just be fully ass
That's
out
weird.
all the way bent over. They'd really learn their lesson.
like
that
some more
day.
power to them. All right, my love.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
If you want to be a special guest like Rane did and write into us, just give us a little snippet of your resilient story and we'll hit you back. So hit us up, resilientaf3@gmail.com. Okay, so before we hop off and wrap it up, I'm going to talk to you guys about produce. Remember I said at the beginning, okay, so recently in the last 6 months, Bill Gates came out with a company called Appeal. Have you heard of it?
I've heard
Okay.
about it.
Appeal is a natural spray that coats several different types of produce to enhance their shelf life. And a lot of them are like apples and avocados and cucumbers, and it can't be scrubbed off. So what it is it's derived from grapeseed oil and it's high in polyunsaturated fat and linoleic acid, which those increase inflammation in the body and they disrupt cellular energy production and thyroid issues, and it just causes other hormone function disruptions. And it's said to contain heavy metals and chemicals.
Oh my
And
gosh.
also it's also sprayed on organic produce. I'm gonna list the grocery stores that carry it and the ones that don't, just the top ones. Okay.
Wait, it's already happening?
Oh yeah, it's in grocery stores. Okay, so basically what you want to look for and to make sure that it's not coated in vegetable wax or food grade resin. That's what you want to stay away from. And it's disgusting. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. I would just take the freaking peel off the apple and not even eat the peel, which sucks because I like apple peels. They taste good to me.
Yeah.
When I eat just the inside, it's not as good. And I love apples.
Yeah, but you don't want to be poisoned by this shit. I actually seen this because Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry have invested in this as
Yes.
well. All the rich people.
I'm going to list the grocery stores that carry it and the ones that don't.
Okay.
Just the top ones. Okay, the ones that do carry it: Safeway, Albertsons, Target, Walmart. The ones that don't: Costco, Trader Joe's, Publix, Sprouts, and a bunch of smaller ones that are in random spots in the US. So I'm not going to list them, but you can go find out information if you want on it. But it's crazy. Okay, also you can look out for the PLU codes on the produce when you're at the store. So
Yeah.
the ones
That's a little pulled on the sticker.
So the 4-digit codes starting with 3 or 4 are grown conventionally, which are just normal with pesticides. The 5-digit codes starting with 8 are genetically modified or genetically engineered.
Oh gosh.
And the 5-digit codes starting with a 9 are organic.
That's what you want.
No, that's not what you want necessarily. But stores that do not carry Appeal, they'll have the 5-digit code starting with 9. You can buy the organic produce there. Or I also recommend to just buy from a local farmer. They have the best produce anyways.
At a farmer's market.
Yes, there's got to be several around your area. But when I first heard about this, they did say what Appeal started with for the PLU codes, but I couldn't find it right now. But it'll say Appeal on the sticker anyway. And it's a green and white label. So keep a lookout when you're getting your produce.
Yeah, because
And
they're always finding ways to make money and kill us in the process.
And I feel like Mr. Gates
is
definitely, he's definitely trying to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
He's trying to get the population down. Let us know, where do you get your produce from? Are you going to change it up? Are you going to start getting organic starting with a 9?
Yeah, did you even know about this?
Did you know about this? Like, will you avoid it, or do you care? Are you going to eat these produce that have appeal on it?
Like, I'm going to die anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, right. Are you going to support Mr. Gates's next endeavor on this appeal? Hit us up on Instagram at ResilientAF3 or on TikTok and maybe on YouTube. Anyways, you can also follow us individually. I'm at that Dreas.
I'm at Bennett Knows.
And we'll see you next week.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.